With Dame Lillard set to go to the Milwaukee Bucks, that has sent now Jrue Holiday to the Portland Trailblazers. The Trailblazers reportedly are going to be looking to immediately flip Jrue Holiday. Could the Bulls get into the sweepstakes for Holiday? We're going to talk about it all and more right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bulls Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bulls news and content.
What's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome to another emergency episode of Chicago Bulls Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. I'm the host, Sir Haize, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Bulls Central Pod on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into the content for today. And this is a quick emergency update. We may break it down in further episodes on a full episode, but now with the Dame Lillard sweepstakes over, we finally know where he's going to be before training camp open, as was kind of expected. He's now going to the Milwaukee Bucks. That part was not expected, to pair with Giannis Antetokounmpo in a deal that, we heard that a mystery team in the East could be getting involved. I don't think a lot of people had the Milwaukee Bucks pegged to be that, but with that, now we have the trade all going. Jrue Holiday, DeAndre Ayton, Toonami Camara, and a 2029 unprotected first-round pick and first-round pick swaps in 2028 and 2030 will be going to the Portland Trailblazers, whereas the Phoenix Suns in this trade get Yusuf Nurkic, Grayson Allen, Nasir Little, and Keon Johnson. Now, the part that we're going to talk about here is the Jrue Holiday component of it. Reportedly, the Portland Trailblazers are now looking to immediately flip Jrue Holiday, even though I think as a veteran guard, he could be a nice mentor for Scoot Henderson. Seems like the Portland Trailblazers are fully embracing their youth movement, and they're going to be looking to move the veteran point guard, the versatile defensive and able to bring some offensive versatility as well, is Jrue Holiday. And so, that has now naturally led Bulls fans to ask, could the Chicago Bulls be in that Jrue Holiday sweepstakes? And, I got to be real with you guys, right? While Jrue Holiday, to me, is one of the perfect replacements for Lonzo Ball, when you look at 6'4", 205 pounds, he averaged last year 19.3 points per game, 5 rebounds, 7.4 assists on 47% shooting from the field. Now, he's not as dangerous as a three-point shooter as Lonzo Ball, but more than a solid one. 38% from three last year, making 2.5 three-pointers per game out of the 6 that he took. For his career, he's a 36% three-point shooter. Jrue Holiday would absolutely be a dog and be one of the point guards that could be a perfect backcourt mate to the Chicago Bulls. And while that all makes sense on paper, making it happen in reality could be a bit harder for the Chicago Bulls. And I'm going to say right now, I do not expect the Chicago Bulls to be the team that ultimately lands Jrue Holiday. You're going to hear a lot of articles on it. You're going to hear a lot of speculation. But, I'm here to shoot it real with you guys. When you look at Jrue Holiday's contract, he's making $34.9 million next season in 2023-24. He has a player option for 2024-25 for $37 million. And while that could be 2 years of bringing Jrue Holiday to the Chicago Bulls, potentially, when you look at the number on that contract, the Bulls right now just don't have the contracts to try to match it. Now, theoretically, if everything was all even and you didn't have the contracts that we just recently signed, the Bulls could match it. But it's a little bit harder right now. When you look at the fact that Nikola Vucevic, Kobe White, and Ayo Dosunmu cannot be traded until the end of December, which makes it almost nearly impossible, right? Now, if the Portland Trailblazers would be willing to take Lonzo Ball's contract just as dead salary because they just need to match it, and the Bulls could send in some first-round picks to take that over, okay, that gets you part of the way there. But Lonzo Ball's contract's only $20 million. That would leave almost $15 million more that the Chicago Bulls would have to add into that trade. Keep in mind, none of our re-signings or new free agent acquisitions can be traded in that type of trade, right? And then even if you are willing to move Patrick Williams, which I doubt the Bulls would do, that's $8 million that gets you part of the way there, but you still need about $7 million more to match that salary. And like I said, I'm here to keep it real with you guys. The Bulls theoretically aren't able to do that. Now, let's say the Bulls, you get Alonzo Ball, you get Alex Caruso in that trade, right? They get you to $29 million. You then have left, because you don't have to match it one for one. I think you have to match 95% of the salary. The Bulls then would have to match about $4 to $6 million more on that. Theoretically, do they have players that they can move in a case like that? Yes. Could they add Andre Drummond, which gets you 3.2? Yes, they could. Julian Phillips can't be moved. Dalen Terry could be moved. That's another $3.8 million. That could get you there as well. But I doubt and I do not see the Chicago Bulls front office, whether right or wrong. That's not what I'm here to say, whether it's the right move or the wrong move. I'm just here to say what I honestly think that they will and won't do. I don't think this Bulls team is in a place to be willing to give up any young future players or assets for a player that could end up being a one-year rental if he decides to take his player option and go out and maybe join another contender, especially because even with bringing Jrue Holiday there, the Bulls aren't going to become a contender. I don't see the Bulls making this level of move, not right now. If he's available around the trade deadline, maybe. Keep in mind, our disabled player exception, you can't pair with another contract. So, for example, that disabled player exception is over $10 million. They couldn't pair that with like a Patrick Williams or whatever else to match Jrue Holiday's contract. So it's theoretically not happening. We couldn't acquire Jrue Holiday anyway. There has to be a player in the last year of their deal when it comes to that disabled player exception either way. So while on paper it would be perfect, the perfect acquisition for the Chicago Bulls to be able to bring in Jrue Holiday to this roster, I don't see it happening. Unfortunately, I would love to be able to tell you guys that I see a world or a possibility in which it happens, but hey, weirder things have happened. If the Bulls do decide to pull the trigger, give up some future firsts for a player in Jrue Holiday, I would love to tell you guys I'm wrong on him because I do think that he could be a player that can help the Bulls get over that hump, but I just don't see it happening. But hey, let me know what you guys think on everything down below. Like I said, we may even get into this in a little bit more detail on tomorrow's full daily episode. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you're following the show at Bull Central Pod. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, bullcentralpod@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail, the number to do so, 773-270-2799. We are number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related, thanks to you guys. And like I like to end every episode on, go Bulls. Love you guys. See red if you can, y'all. Peace.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.